Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Making with the Manufacturers. So here we are. I'm still in my American Crafts section. We just did a couple Jen Hadfield layouts last week. So this week we are moving on to Maggie Holmes. And this is what I have for Maggie Holmes. Now, Maggie Holmes was under the Crate Paper moniker. So, let's pull her out. Okay, so this is what I have for Maggie Holmes. And peeking ahead, I have one Crate Paper. One. So spoiler alert for next week, we'll be using that one. All right, so this is what I have for Maggie Holmes. I have these label cut-aparts. These came from Carousel. I have this yellow sheet with the blue florals, which is Flourish. I have the Sunny Days cameras, and then I have some Carousel paper from the paper pad. Ooh, I also have this one from Willow Lane, which has these gorgeous stars. I'm pretty sure this is Maggie Holmes too, you guys. I think so. And then this, which is from Carousel as well. So I'm not going to use this. But let's figure out what I need to do. So I am a big fan of this yellow side. This is a pretty floral, but this is definitely more my speed. Let's see. I have an idea for a Dumbo layout for this paper. So I'm going to use this paper. I'm going to use this yellow paper because that will definitely go with kind of what my thoughts were. And that's a close enough star. The stars is close enough in yellow, so I'll use that one. So I got 3 sheets of paper. Oh, look, that one was a clearance paper. And we'll cut out a couple labels. No idea which labels, but we'll cut out a couple. So these are going to go back into my stash. And maybe next week when I do the crate paper, just crate paper, I'll pull some of these as well. So these are the ones I'm going to use today. Let's see what I can do. All right, guys, for this layout, I'm starting with that circus paper, and I've grabbed my Vicky Bouton watercolor pens. I think that's what they are. They're watercolor pens, and I am using them full strength. So I'm getting bright, bold color. Now you can use these, like put them out on a palette or some plastic and add some water, and you can have diluted color. But like I said, I'm looking for that big, bold, full strength color because I am scrapbooking some Dumbo pictures and they have big, bold colors. So I'm not going to make you watch me color in all of the lines here, but I do alternate the red and the blue on the big top tents, and then I'm also going to alternate the toppers to the tents, these triangle pieces here. Now I did choose to only have the yellow showing as the flag just because I liked that little bit of contrast, and I knew I was going to have some yellow bits in my background because this is not going to be the background. We are going to fussy cut this bad boy out. So now you can see I'm just going to go ahead and color in here. Now, I have not been to a circus in a very, very long time, like very long time. And the Storybook circus colors in Walt Disney World are kind of red and white. Their trash cans are red and white, for sure. I almost scrapbooked my Storybook Circus trash cans
pictures with this big top paper, but ultimately I decided to do some of the Dumbo ride pictures. Now, I'm also really being bad because my 2017 Disney trip is not finished, and the trip I took with Alex is not finished, but our 2020 Disney trip is not finished, and I'm scrapbooking some of the photos here where I went on my solo trip in earlier this year in 2021. So I'm really out of order with my Disney scrapbooking. Usually I like to work one project at a time, but for some reason I'm just having fun messing around and, whatever I want to scrapbook, I'm scrapbooking lately. I went from a very rigid chronological scrapbooker where I scrapbooked everything in order to playing within a year, and now I'm just kind of like doing whatever I want. But you know, I'm still kind of chronological, I guess. Kind of. So I'm just going to fill in a couple little spots where the color just wasn't deep enough or dark enough. And then I'm going to put those markers away and we are going to start fussy cutting. So I am going to fussy cut out with some scissors. I also believe I get my pen blade out at one point just to make sure that I'm getting in there pretty well with the cuts, because there are some thin lines. Those black lines right there are super thin. And that's just because it's a pre-printed paper. So now voila, we are almost finished. And that is perfect. I love it when my fussy cutting does not take a long time. So fussy cutting doesn't really bother me, but it's not something where I know some people are like, oh, fussy cutting. I'm buying this floral paper and I'm just going to sit and cut out every single little flower. Like, that's not me. If I'm like, I need to fussy cut this to make some stuff happen, then you darn right I'm going to fussy cut. But it's not like, it doesn't bring me joy of my life. You know what I'm saying? So now I have this paper, and it is a star paper. And on the back side, there is a cream and a wood grain scallop. Now, I wanted that scallop, but I wanted the stars. So I'm going to fussy cut out the scallop here. And the reason why I decided to just fussy cut the scallop instead of using my little humper punch is because the humper punch is so much smaller than these large scallops right here. So that's the reason for that, in case you were wondering why I'm not using the humper punch. Now, I do have a love affair with labels. If you look in my scrapbook albums, there are a couple albums where labels are on every single layout almost. It feels like it, at least. And that's just because for a long time, when I started playing more with layers and clusters, I would always use labels because they are just easy, good things to be able to use, right? They're just easy. So the labels that I do not use, and spoiler alert, there are a bunch, they're just going to go straight back into my stash. Not going to toss them in the bin whatsoever. I will say the pieces of paper that I cut out with the circus top tents, all that scrap paper, that went into the bin. Like, I'm not doing anything with that. So now I am going to use my yellow kind of geometric background paper here. I cut down the scallops basically all the way off the star paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and layer this bad boy up, just making sure that everything is going to be straight on the page. I really don't need anything crooked. So I have a block of yellow at the top and a block of yellow at the bottom, going on with the scallopy bits from the stars. So now I'm going to adhere the circus tent, and that's going to go at the join line of the yellow and the I almost said brown, but that's not brown. It's more of like a cream color. And now I just got to figure out like what the heck I'm doing. So you really can't even see the scallopy bits, even though I really wanted it. So I go ahead and take my Muji pen, and then I'm going to go ahead and outline this. And then, not so fun fact, the Muji store over in San Jose, which is where I have gone in the past, is permanently closed. So no more going to the Muji store for me. It's all ordering online, which is kind of sad. I do go ahead and add some adhesive down because I don't want the flags popping up or falling off or getting knocked out of the way or anything. And then I have my two little photos right here. And I figure I will put them on top of the largest circus tent. That way you can still see pieces of it, and you'll still get kind of the feel with all three circus tents right there. So this is a label that I'm going to go ahead and figure out where in the world I want it to go. But first we're going to do some washi tape between the circus tent and the yellow paper on the bottom. And what that is going to do is just give it a base so that the tents aren't kind of floating out there in space. And they do feel kind of floaty right now. So this is the lightning bug washi tape that came in a Chamel collection. I'm pretty sure it's Field Trip. And I chose it because of the dark navy blue. It gave me a good base. And it still felt fun. Like the little yellow matches the yellow in my papers that I have, so it felt fun. It also doesn't look like lightning bugs unless you're up super close and personal with it, kind of checking it out. And I don't know, maybe it's not even lightning bugs. Maybe it's just string lights. What is that? I thought it was lightning bugs, but maybe they're string lights. Or maybe I'm reading them as string lights because of the circus theme. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So then I decide, since I have washi tape here at the bottom, I'm also going to put some washi tape up at the top as well. And I just decide to use a teal color washi tape. And I was going to put 2 layers on it to give it a little bit more thickness, but surprise, surprise, I only had a tiny little bit of washi tape left on that roll, and it's not going to go all the way across the page. Now, this is a photo that I printed at home, so it is a tough beast trying to get the adhesive off. So I'm using an adhesive eraser. I tried the second adhesive eraser. Finally, I just deal with it. There is a little bit of like a eraser kind of smudge thing going on there. But I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. Whatever, it is fine, right? Like, sometimes you just get to that point where you're just like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not messing with it. I don't want to print another photo, and I am just going to leave it the way it is. So it's just a matter of figuring out where I want the cards to go and what paper I'm going to use to mat them. So this paper is a paper that was a scrap on my desk. I used it for an 8.5 by 11 background page for Stretch the Sketch on Sunday. So I had a good hunk of it. And now I'm just going to trim the photo mat around my photo so that I have a thin photo mat. And then I'm going to overlap the photos over here on the circus tent page. So I'm liking the way that this looks. And then I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and use up a couple more of these labels. Because I don't want to pull out this paper, use one label, and be like, yeah, go me. No, I want to use a couple. Like at least 3, right? 3 is a good number. So it's just a matter of figuring out where I want to put this label, and I decide that it's going to go over here in the upper left-hand corner. And then I'm like, you know what? I need a little bit of the pinky red color up here. So I'm going to grab this label as well, and then we're just going to overlap them together. So now I'm looking at this layout. I'm like, yes, it's got the feel that I want to have. I definitely have like the circus feel, the Dumbo feel. Like the magic feel is still there, and I just need to get a title on here. So I go down deep into my stash and pull out these Millie and June, Fancy Pants Designs stickers. So I'm going to spell out Dumbo, and then of course I'm going to have to use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on these letters to make sure that they stick, because even though they aren't thickers, they don't stick either. They just don't. Now I'm going to grab some tiny letter stickers. These are from Authentique, and I believe they're for Christmas, but you know what? They work for me. So now I'm just going to spell out Fly with Dumbo. And even though this isn't the Dumbo ride, and even though there is no flying, these are the circus trains, it makes sense to me in my head because all of the Dumbo pictures in the album will be together. So it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, then you're probably not going to want to do this kind of title where it's kind of referencing the moment in the trip instead of the exact moment of the page. Does that make sense? And I'm okay with it because, like I said, my Dumbo section will be a couple pages in this album and it will be a full feeling. Now I'm going to use some of these Vicky Bouton color, these, what are these little puffy things? Stickers. Oh, Lord, people. So I'm using these puffy stickers and I'm using the stars and I'm just choosing like the blues and the yellows and I'm going to sprinkle them around the page. And these are from Color Study. And then I'm just going to throw the date on there and that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and I will see you again real soon for another video.